All right, so this morning we're heading over to Camino Capistrano. We're going to meet the inspector, go over a couple things that he was wanting from us to do on the soundproofing between the units. We'll take a trip to Camino de las Mares. We're going to locate where we're going to put the sauna and make sure that we have the right power, and we're going to pour a slab for that area. And we can hit a few jobs on the way back, and then we'll pass you over to Alan and see what he's got going on. We just met with these home tour women who basically are going to be picking a few houses in San Clemente and then doing a tour, bringing about 600 people through them. And they want us to submit that house, but I have a deadline of September 15th to get it finished. So we're rushing for that so they can photograph it, and then October's a tour. So we're gonna have like music and drinks and food, a ton of people coming in and out. And then I was thinking about on the big screen TV, we can put a video up and just have like it playing from start to finish of the build so people can watch that. So that's exciting. We were talking about trying to hold like an open house for this house and invite people from San Clemente to come and see what you can do with these ADUs and how cool that house is, because we have these giant 12-foot ceilings and big doors, and you know, and putting the ADU in the hillside like we talked about in the past. That, you know, there's a ton of hills here and people don't have much of backyards, but you can get that added space. You can rent those out and make that an extension of your land, which is rad.
Brought the SIM cards for the GoPro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got some clips of us fishing, gapping a couple yellowtail. Buddy. Oh, yeah. Bango!
Good there. Guys are coming.
You guys ready?
Yeah, we're out.
Hello. Alfredo Luna Sanchez Jr.
Chingon, dude.
The stucco guy?
We have all the paper and lat done, getting ready for a scratch and brown. We switched out those two big doors that we talked about last time. Per the plans, they had called for an 80-inch door. We bought them, we installed them, we didn't like them. We had the header space in the ceiling to put these bigger doors in, and it was such a shame to have these 80-inch doors here when you had all this view. So we were able to sell those online. We got these 7'6" doors, we put them in. It's like a night and day difference. We have our finishers here buttoning up the other one, and it's gonna be night and day now, having these versus the other one. So we're stoked.
We have a surprise for you guys.
Oh, Chad's best friend forever. You're going to Los Mars?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you there. I got a cool call from another architect in San Clemente that he's working on drawing up a 4,000 square foot modern home. I built a couple houses for him in the past, a more traditional style home, really rad though. I'd like to take you guys by it sometime. But he's drawing up like an ultra modern here, a 4,000 square foot one, which in San Clemente that's a big house. And he wants me to build it, which I'm stoked. And it's because, you know, I think we have a reputation of building modern homes. A lot of these other builders in town don't even have one, and that seems like that's all we build.
Who's the architect?
Terry Vallis.
Terry.
Yeah. We literally have to be out of here in 30 days. We're doing all the staining right now. That guy's the shit. Dude, it's a trip. You never would think it, but staining, it's its own special thing, and it's such a custom, like, it's really hard to find someone that's good at that trade, and it's super expensive. People are always blown away, but it's like every house has it. What up, Amadeo? Got cameras today. Oh, it's open. Okay, we're back here on Los Mares. It's been about 30 days since our last visit. Well, your last visit. I'm here every day. Let's walk through. We'll look at the progress, and we got about 30 days to get this done, so it's crunch time. What's cool to kind of pay attention to, and I'll just call this out since we're here, is look at the gem here on this pivot door. I don't know if you could see that well, but you see how our brick is flushed out there and flushed out here. This is gonna be like a little banquet here. This will have like a custom cushion, custom back with cushion, and we're actually gonna tile around this so it feels really built in. This is gonna center with the TV on that side. So we're building this custom kind of pop out. The TV will sit recessed in there, and we're gonna Venetian plaster that, like a dark color. We finally got the kitchen delivered. Everything was built in Germany. The company is called Lecht, probably saying that wrong. In these other rooms here, we actually built all the cabinetry out of rift cut white oak, which we've talked about in the past, and we're staining it dark to match this stuff here. So you can see here. You see that? It's gonna look sick. Everything's push latch. So no hardware, which is nice. It's all hidden. We just passed our drywall inspection yesterday, so they're gonna start putting all the metalwork in downstairs. We can go look at that. The details are gonna be a little different than inside the house. Inside the house, we recess the baseboard and use that fry riglet like we talked about. Down here, there's gonna be no baseboard. We grinded all the concrete down there to expose aggregate, and then we polished it and sealed it, so it has that look. And then we just have fry, so it's just gonna be polished, grinded concrete, and then about 5/8 inch of fry, which is just that metal detail, and then that's it. So it's super clean, really modern look, and it's gonna look pretty rad. We went fishing in Mexico. We went out to Coronado Islands. We caught probably, I don't know, 150 pounds of yellowtail. Biggest yellowtail I've ever caught. It was super rad. It was a good trip overnight.
It was like 3 hours down to the spot. We got there like midnight and anchored, and everyone tried to sleep until like 5 a.m. and then we just started fishing. It was like going off for like 45 minutes. Everyone was catching fish, and then it would like die down, and everyone would kind of take a break, and then it would come back on, and it was just like that the whole day. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was fun.
We caught fish at every spot we stopped at, you know. We were on the boat for 24 hours.
Which isn't that crazy, but it didn't feel long.
Didn't feel long.
Max caught a fish, and the captain was like, dude, you got a seal on that thing. And a seal, it's being pulled up by the fishing line, and then there's a seal pulling it down, and it comes up, and sure enough, as soon as we could see it, there was a seal, and the tail of the captain was like, give me that thing, and he was just like,
Yeah.
Headed to Amino.
Yeah. We'll check out Amino, then we'll go by Ola Vista. When you're talking about building and general contracting, it's typically, everyone should be in the vicinity. A lot of these jobs are time and material. You're going to run them, cost plus a fee. So, it's that fee is you can negotiate on the fee. Typically, the more expensive a job is, the less the fee will be. And then after that, you're dealing with trades. Some of us have a lot of in-house, labor like we do, which we can save money in that way rather than hiring out, trades and waiting for their schedules. And that's another way why we're able to build so fast, because we don't, a lot of the major trades we have in-house, and, we don't wait for people's schedule. So, we'll turn a 14-month build into a 9-month build, kind of like the job that we were just on. But, when you're dealing with trades, it's like, everyone should be competitive. You're going to have a plumber that's going to be $1,800 to $2,000 a fixture. A fixture is going to be, a lav sink or a toilet or, shower valves, things like that. Things like water heaters count as 2 fixtures, but all these people should be roughly the same price. All the electrical contractors, same thing. You know, they're roughly $16, $17 a square foot, and then they'll break down, you know, can lights and outlets and switches and all that stuff. So all electricians should be competitive, or else they won't get jobs. So realistically, all these estimates should be in the same ballpark. But when you're choosing a contractor, you got to mainly look at, you know, who can I relate to, who would I enjoy working with for that amount of time, because it's like a marriage. You know, it's every day. We talk on the phone, we talk through email. I'll be sending videos and constant updates, and there's always problems. And how do you go about fixing those problems? You know, that's kind of my job, is try to limit problems, and when they do come up, you know, how to solve it. That's mainly the biggest importance. We bid on this project here. It's a huge house, 8,000 square feet. And then we were about to get it, and we chose not to do it. Because sometimes you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them, and she wasn't, just like I talked about a minute ago about being able to connect with someone. We interview people too. You know, if I go to a job and I'm like, you know, they're interviewing me, I'm also interviewing them, and it's like, are these, you know, someone that I want to work with? Because you know what happens is you lose money and you make your life a living hell, and that's why it's important to hire someone that you feel like you can relate to, and that, you know, that you can vibe with, and you don't mind spending a year with. Because I could tell, you know, that, you know, whoever chose to do that build is probably in a world of hurt, and that's, you know, it is what it is. This is my buddy Jake from Mason Pool Company. We've known each other probably 15 years.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He does all our swimming pools. I'll kind of let him explain what's happening here on this job.
So on this one right here, we're gonna do a sunken fire pit actually on the outside of the pool, a couple of steps down. We have a 10 by 10 spa with 12 therapy jets. And then we're gonna have an automatic pool cover that covers over the whole entire thing for child safety, of course. And then right here, we're gonna have 10 scuppers that go into the pool. And then we'll have a fire feature that goes on top, and it'll be all boxed in, so a pass-through fireplace or fire pit. It's a big transformation.
A big transformation for not that much money. You know, I think this whole job's gonna cost them like 800 grand, which, I mean, for complete hardscape landscape,
New swimming pool.
new pool, fire pits, and front entry, and then this big addition. Really, like we talked about in the last video, when you pulled up to this house, it felt like you were pulling up to a 2,000 square foot single family. You know, now from the street, having this addition, big 4-car garage. He's got a lot of Lamborghinis and really nice, you know, cars. So that was the main purpose, but now it's gonna have that feeling of just this massive, you know, big home like it deserves.
Dude, we got 218 pounds of yellowtail.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, dude. All right, guys, that's it for us. I'm gonna pass you off over to Alan, and we'll revisit these in 30 days. And a lot of these will be done, so it'd be cool to get detailed with a lot of these finishes, and kind of look at what we talked about mitering the tile edges, and the prep that goes into making sure that, you know, all of our transitions are clean and flush, and all the things that you get when you build a custom home. So I'm excited to show you guys that. So here's Alan, and then we'll see you later. Thanks.
This one that we're going to was an interior remodel. We did all new windows, exterior doors, all the bathrooms. We moved walls, kind of opened up the master bath. These people inherited this house a few years ago, and it was a rental forever. And just in the last year, they decided that this is going to be their forever home, so they wanted to put some money into it. We're here at Paradise Cove. Let's go take a look. So this one, the homeowners are living here. So, I mean, we make it work. It's a little bit more complicated because like for this laundry room, we redid the whole thing. We opened this up and they still got to do laundry every night. So there's days where we're taking the washer and dryer out, putting it back in, back and forth, you know. But this will be really cool. This is going to be all black, everything. Do the cabinets, countertop. Over here, there's just a little area for, you know, brooms, mops, stuff like that. Tomorrow they'll be putting all the faces on, all the drawers. We did all this entry tile. I know you can't really see it because it's covered right now, but this was her, this is what she had picked, and I really actually like it. It's kind of cool. And then in here, this one's 80% done. Like I said, we're waiting on this vanity. It got delayed in shipping. She picked out this really interesting wallpaper, new shower. This is a collab between homeowner and designer as far as the design goes. In here, this is going to be really cool too. This is you can't really tell now, but this is all going to be black as well. This is going to be a really cool bar area, really masculine. This, we're putting this new tile on. It's kind of cool. Same thing, something the homeowner picked out. This is the backyard. This is going to be the next phase. Once everything inside is done and they can kind of settle, move all their furniture where it belongs, then we're going to lick this whole thing clean. Removing all the plants, everything, all the concrete, all the grass. They're gonna have, kind of like Los Mares, well, they'll have a raised deck and the jacuzzi will kind of be inset. So you have a couple steps and an area to kind of sit around it and lounge and hang out. And then they're gonna do more of a turf style all the way around. So they'll have concrete and then they'll have, you know, 3 inches of turf in between, just separating it. We're gonna leave this wall, but all the stuff in the front, we're gonna demo. They're gonna kind of change it up. Like I said, kind of make it more modern. They'll put a new driveway in. Pretty simple, but sometimes the simplest things can make a huge difference in the way that something looks and feels.